what would you say if there was one thing that you could do in your work that you would want to do to like change the world? Or maybe it's around men's mental health. I know we've been talking a lot about that. Like, what's that one thing that you would do or you think that we should be thinking about in changing?
Yeah, I mean, the whole reason I've been trying to like break the public speaking space is because every day I feel like I'm saying the same message to one person at a
Individual.
time.
Yep.
And I'd rather to a bigger group of people because my mission is to reframe what therapy should look like. I think it's a disservice that we are thinking that therapy is you're going and you're talking about the same thing every session or the issue of the week. You don't have structure to the session. It's not evidence based, right?
Mm,
Insurance companies are getting smarter and they're asking for therapists and social workers to now provide evidence that their therapy is working. I think therapy should be a lot less talking and a lot more doing. There should be a level of like, empathy, validation, and then there should be a kind of a nitty gritty piece to it where it's like, let's get up and do this, even though you don't feel like doing it. So I would just love to be able to like break that and get people better. Like I can't tell you. And the whole reason I started this was because the amount of people that would come to me and say, I wish I knew this 10, 20, 30 years.
hmm
You taught me more in the last 2 weeks than I've learned in the last 25 years of therapy. And therapy should not be long term. That is you should not be seeing your therapist for unless you're doing it on a very like maintenance level. Like, okay, you're going like once every like month or two. And it's just, you're not really like necessarily looking to change anything super dramatic or drastic. Like you're just really going as an upkeep type of thing. But if you're symptomatic and you have struggles in your life, like there should be a titration off and you should go flying home.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting. I've been seeing mine for longer than that, but it ebbs and flows. So it's like there's maintenance mode where it's like once a month, once every 2 months, and then there's reality TV time where it's like once a week, and it just changes, right? But there's different things that kind of come up. But she actually told me to evaluate maybe a year. No, it was a little longer, maybe 2 years ago, where she was like, take some time and really think about, like, have we gone as far as we can go, kind of thing. But
yeah,
that was true because the reality TV thing, like, I always tell them, like, you're the expert because you helped me get to a good place before, you supported, helped me during, and then you helped me after. And so,
yeah,
like, go write a book about that or something. But yeah, so I think there is something there that I agree with, where if you're just going and it's this routine, you're talking about the same stuff over and over, and nothing's changing or nothing's getting better, your symptoms aren't improving, your behaviors aren't improving, you're not dialing up the good stuff and dialing up the bad stuff. What are you doing? Like, you're just not probably a right fit for each other.
yeah. Well, and I appreciate you saying that because because I've made some reels on this and people get real upset when I'm like, there should be less talking and more doing. And people are like, where are you getting such bold claims? I'm like, actually, this is this. So the number one way to treat anxiety related disorders is to behaviorally have someone do it. It's not to talk about why they're not doing
Hmm.
it. It's not to figure out why they're like literally in session. You're scared of driving. We're driving in session. You're scared of the elevator. We're going in the elevator. Right. Um, but like
That's
what
why I was saying like 90% of it is done outside of
Yes.
therapy.
Or
Yeah.
if you have a good therapist, you're doing it in because it's like a trainer. You wouldn't go to, I use this analogy all the time, but you would never go to a trainer and talk about why you're not working out or talk about the workouts you're going to do. You would literally do it and then you would go home and you would practice again. And that's why working out is so effective. But sorry, the reason I said all that was because the way that you're describing it, I don't want people to get confused where I'm like, don't be in therapy. And if you are, then like you're effed. It's like, what we call is like skill acquisition. So I do test measures with my clients. 9 times out of 10, what I see in the first month is this. And then I see this, which is what
Hmm.
we call skill mastery. And then sometimes there's a hit, like you go back reality TV stuff, right? And then you re-up therapy. And then you come back down and but this whole, like I go to my therapist weekly for years, or like there's not a structure to the session. Like I want to get that out of like that's my mission because people waste too much time and energy
Right.
on that and it keeps people stuck. So
I actually agree with you 100% on that. I completely agree with you on that. Um, I feel like I could talk to you forever, but
sorry.
but no, I love your work. I love what you're doing, and I'm very
So
grateful too for the men's mental health stuff.